Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and I'm up at Iain Tyrrell's again for part 4 of the Countach rebuild that, well, started with the gearbox, and typical project has sort of crept onto a few other things. Since the last visit, 7 weeks ago, Iain has actually taken the heads off the engine, and he's got something to show me because we had that leak down test and things like that. Fortunately, there's some shiny bits to look at as well, and yeah, I can't wait to see what Iain's found. I think it's always a worry when you strip engines, but I think it's all right. So, heads are off.
Yes.
I was looking at these and they look quite modern. I can't get over it. It's just, I suppose it's because it's the 4-valve head. You know, they just look as though, yeah, it's sort of a proper performance, sort of, well, almost motorbike-like.
Exactly. It's the classic pent roof combustion chamber.
Yeah.
And in fact, Giulio Alfieri, when he brought the QV, because he was the ex-head of Maserati, he developed the SM V6 and the later V8.
Oh, right.
And then he went over to Lamborghini, as a lot of them
Yeah.
did.
I mean, it's just a small gang, isn't it, in Modena that swap around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They get bored and say, oh, yes, why not move on? He devised the 4-valve heads for the Countach. And when it was new, it was the most thermodynamically efficient petrol engine in the world.
Was
apparently.
it?
Yes.
Never
Everything's
knew that.
relative, of course.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, 5.2 litre, 455 declared, but we all sort of know it's unspoken, but it's 475 or thereabouts, isn't
absolutely.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
they wanted to keep something in reserve to see what Ferrari brought out with the Testarossa.
Yeah.
But no,
it looks good. But last time I was here, you'd done that leak down test, and there was a few surprises, wasn't there?
There was, particularly when you said it was running so well.
Well, it seemed to run well. I thought it ran well, but yeah, you discovered that some valves weren't doing their job and sealing quite as well as they should.
Exactly. Well, I mean, this was all borne out in the leak down test, but some of them are quite. I mean, the valve seats themselves are actually black. They're carbonated.
I don't know if it's just running rich, but it's more than that than this, isn't it? Because I always run it on super unleaded in detergent, but you can sort of see on the inlet the fact that I've got black actually into the inlet.
Yes.
That means that it's when the combustion's firing, isn't it? It's just leaking past the valve.
Yes.
And a little bit of exhaust, which isn't very healthy.
Well, you can see those two have been seating nicely. Look how clean the port are in there. But the I think my theory about this, I mean, either it's shockingly tight valve clearances, which it isn't.
Right.
Or, not allowing the valve to seat.
Oh, I see what you mean. When you stripped it, so the valve wasn't staying open ever so slightly.
Yes.
It was it should be seating. There was clearance there.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I think the previous owner to you has driven the car too gently.
Well, that was some time ago. But yeah, you think so?
I can't. I mean, you haven't been driving it too gently, have you?
No, it's a Lamborghini.
Exactly. But no, I mean that's the only explanation, because combustion chamber sort of exhaust gas temperature is directly related to speed and load. Right. So I think they've been driving it to the supermarket and back effectively.
He did say he used to take it out quite regularly. But he was often in London. He lived in Hitchin, but he just literally never went out never did trips like I did or anything like that.
Right. So he poodles around in it locally, possibly. And the problem is the combustion chambers don't get above 300, 350 degrees C, whereas if you're really tanking it, they're up to 700.
The only thing is, I've done some tanking since. I thought they would have burnt it out.
Well, you would have thought. Yeah, you'd have thought the rubbing effect on the seat would have done its job. But I mean, it's a real mystery, actually.
Yeah, I was looking at that one, and there's real clearance. So we take that as a wobble factor, isn't it? You can see that's really worn. I'll do a close-up of this, but yeah, there's definite movement there.
There is. The inlets are okay. These are 7mm valve stems. And it was one of the first. Well, most car engines up to and including that era had 8mm valve stems. And to get more gas flow, they lowered the valve stem diameter by a millimetre, so you could get more gas past it. Yeah. And eventually, Jaguar, for their AJ32 engine, the V8, went down to 5mm.
Oh, really small. Right.
Again, for the same reason.
Trying to get more gas flow.
Yeah, they couldn't. They had plastic timing chain tensioners that broke, but
but they had lightweight valves.
yeah, but the valves never went. Yeah, they just hit the pistons when they.
When the time belt hit. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, but the exhaust valves. It's going to need some surgery on the guides there. Just
What, new guides, or would you?
We
sleeve them,
can sleeve them. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be fine. The inlets are fine. There's negligible wobble there at all. But I mean,
okay.
It's nothing drastic. It's
just odd.
It is very odd.
Yeah, to have that much going past the valves.
I mean, you can actually see which cylinders have been.
You can on the inlet side. Well, you can't really on the. Well, a little bit on the exhaust because that's sooted all the way through, isn't it?
Yep.
So Remedy, is it new valves or same valves and just do the valve guides?
Exactly.
And then clean it all up.
Yes. Reseat them in, usual traditional way.
Yeah.
Coarse valve grinding paste, fine.
Right.
And then, you'll be back up. I mean, the bottom end is absolutely fine.
Right.
When we did the cylinder leak down test, there was nothing getting past the rings. So,
That's good.
Pistons
we didn't really burn oil, but it must have been a little bit just going past these guides, I suppose.
I mean, there's not. With engine oil, you tend to get a furriness, and that just, a shininess, and there isn't any actually. So that would tally with what you say about burning oil. But they have got stem seals on, so that will, to a large extent, stop them.
Okay. So engine-wise, then, we're going to rebuild the heads, as you explained. Lovely exhaust manifolds actually hiding under the car there. Ceramic coating on those, aren't we? Also,
yes.
I mean, has that been cleaned up?
It has, yes.
I don't remember it quite as clean as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they're going off ceramic coating just to reduce the heat inside the engine bay.
Exactly.
With that.
Yep.
Can we get the exhaust done in black as well then, at the same time?
We can.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that would be good.
Really?
Well, I just think it's with the way they finish on the chrome, it shows off the chrome finish better.
Yes.
To me, just looks more original. I think my view in the Countach, when I bought it, it was a cheap car. Now they're not quite so cheap, and I think it's such an extraordinary design, and I think there's going to be become more and more, dare I say, iconic as a Lamborghini. Going forward, we've got 50 years of Lamborghini Countach. So I want to enhance this, shall we say, and make it as it came out of the factory, because I just think it was such a statement when it came out of the factory. I agree. Unbelievable. So while going through this process, it's just funny how your mood changed. When I got it, it was just this crazy, daft car that was a bit heavy on the, clutch, steering, but look at it. And I just think now, wow, amazing. It's only 10 years since I've had it, but it's just changed. The attitude towards Countach is changing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can't think of, essentially it's the same car, but I can't think of any other supercar that they made for 18 years that was almost identical.
No.
I mean, the Porsche 911. Yeah. Conceptually it was the same, but it had so many upgrades, didn't it? That it was, essentially a different car. Yeah, they have, but the Aventador went 10 years, isn't it? I suppose that's not a bad innings for a supercar, really. Yeah. But anyway, we're doing that. But you have some shiny shockers and springs to show me. Yes. Yeah. So these have all been refurbished. Ready to go back on, rebushed, etc. All recalibrated, dynamometer tested. Oh, so all done, all the seals inside, everything's done. A couple of bits had to be made because you just can't get them anymore. A couple of brass valving components. Oh, terrific. But they are G to G. Right, good. Six of them, of course. Yeah, amazing, isn't it? There's 2 on the back on each side. Yeah. What's the theory? Any idea what that was? It's either side of the drive shaft. Otherwise it would have been too high into the body. If it was over the top, it would have stuck out too much. Oh, it's to keep it low. Yes. It's the actual design. It is. Right. And they hadn't really thought about horizontal shock absorbers, so which is the other alternative. Right. So it's literally same as Jaguar back end, you know, 2 shocks and 2 springs either side. That's why it's the height. And test roster. Yes. As well. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else on the car we should look at? Interior. Well, you did mention interior. Yeah. This is where I get accused of selling up now.
No, well, let's have a quick look.
This indicator looks a bit...
No, that's the interior fine. Let's have a look at the interior.
Okay.
I can't get over this one because I've watched this. I was actually at the sale when this car went.
Seriously?
They are in sale when it went through, knocked down for how much? It was 1.2, 3.
Well, all in 1.25 million pounds.
Amazing. But you've just been doing the interior on here, haven't you?
Well, this is all original. Even the carpets are 52 years old. And this is vinyl, which is called sky in Italian. They couldn't possibly call it vinyl.
All right.
And this is a funny grey, browny, blacky, bluey colour.
I know, it looks like it's a faded black, but it isn't. But yeah.
And that's all original as well.
That's not a bad vinyl, I have to say.
No,
that's
particularly with the sun shining on it through the windscreen.
Yeah. But, well, it's what you can do with mine. Mine is door as well. I know you probably hate going inside doors, but there's a mechanism issue there, I'm afraid. And they're so awkward, and I wrestled with it. But that mechanism just needs a little looking at. Yeah. So, interior on here.
Oh, I see.
It's got a few belt marks and things like that on it. And the carpet, I don't know what to say about the carpets.
Oh, that's just as good as the day it came out of the factory.
Oh, was it? That's standard fit, sir.
Yes.
But so a bit of glue, and they've then...
Racing clearance, lightweight, bought from down the road.
Is there anything you can do with this to freshen it up? Or
we can improve. I mean, it might be as well to involve Craig at some point. But
I think Craig would be essential.
They're right on the cusp of being sort of, do we soldier on with them, or do we make new ones, really?
Because that looks a slightly different cloth to me, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it was in the day. Well, to be continued, see what Craig says. But I just think we're going to this effort. It's a fantastic car. It's part of me now almost. So anything I can do to enhance it, I would. I
think I see what you mean. I mean that can be treated and dealt with.
The seatbelt marks. Yeah.
It's. I think less is more probably with this. We don't want to go too mad with it, really.
That shouldn't really be up there, is it? That's not
designed
like
absolutely
that.
not.
Didn't leave the factory like that. No. So it's just that sort of tidying up I'd love to do.
And I can see on the driver's side there it's a bit scuffed. Yeah.
Well, a farmer's been living in it for 10 years, so that's what's happened there. I don't use it on the farm, but yeah.
Yes. I wondered why it was a bit muddy underneath.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we can colorise that and tidy it up. Yeah. You know, I don't think we have to start re-leathering anywhere. Really.
Okay.
It's a good straight car. This
it is really very straight. Yeah, it is. Well, I thought it was. Yeah. Oh, it is. Well, and the gearbox. I haven't asked about the gearbox. What's happening with gearbox?
We are getting the bits. They're on the way. They will be here within the next week or two.
Really? From Lamborghini? You ordered from Lamborghini?
Yes, and have assured us. And they have assured us we will have them.
That's extraordinary.
It is. Yeah.
If they have those, I'd be amazed. Well, I am amazed, but that is a remarkable back catalogue service for spare parts. If they can have, well, that's not shared with anything, is it?
It isn't. No. There's a lot of bespoke bits in there. I mean, it is. Well, it's shared with the anniversary.
Right, and
they made 652, I think, if I'm not mistaken, of those. Yeah. So it's quite a lot. They probably made 800 and odd. You know, they've obviously decided. In fact, they made more 4-valve Countaches than they did Miuras.
Yeah, it's 700 and something Miuras.
762, yeah.
762, and I think there's 350 or 360 QVs.
Oh, really?
350, I thought, but that includes all the fuelies in America.
Right.
I know a carburettor downdraft carbs. I don't know what the number. I know it's 42 right-hand drive QVs.
Yes.
That's the only number I know.
Including the 88.5s with the side squares.
I believe so. That's 12 of those, isn't it?
I think, I mean, this is where it all gets a bit...
Oh, don't. Oh, that's why, yeah.
That one went to Australia. Oh, we don't talk about that one. But suddenly it comes to life and, you know, it's like... Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, it's rare. It's rare with the downdrafts. But, yeah, QVs, talking about going back to gearbox, that would mean nearly 1,000.
Precisely.
That gearbox. And do you think, is that gearbox not on the 5000S and all those then? Is that...
it was changed for the QV.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? Because it was a bit weak, wasn't it, before?
Yes.
It says here, having just broken a QV gearbox. But, yeah.
There's a strange mismatch here, because the engine's carboned up, and the gearbox is has slight wear.
I wonder if Grand Tour had something to do with it, but I don't know.
Oof. Yes.
But no, it was on the way out before that. But good, right.
Now, just one other thing to mention. Did you want anything doing with the back suspension as well? Because you mentioned...
well, alignment and those strange rose joints and all the adjustments. What were you going to suggest?
Nothing more than cleaning up components and making them look better?
Yeah,
you know?
I'd happily do that. There is a job. It's just escaped my mind. Oh, the one thing I want to do is just go through the brakes and whether I need new discs and the run out, whether there's a run out on it.
Yes.
Because there's a bit of brake judder on this car.
You did mention that, didn't you? Yeah. And that's
like
been a bit elusive, hasn't it?
It has been elusive. And I'm told it's the disc at the rear that it's coming from.
Right, okay.
So we'll have a look at that. But yeah, good. Well, yeah. Mission creep and all that, isn't it? Off we go on a little journey. But I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed. So by the next visit here, there might be some gearbox components.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
the head should be done by then as well.
Good. Right. Well, there you go. There's an update on the Countach. Progress is being made by the look of things, quicker than I expected. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming on very soon.